What kind of a world are we living in? Uh, did you see this trending video? It is a trending story in Zim about two best friends, the ones that you saw on that video that is appearing on your screen. And it is said that the other guy that is wearing the blue dress, he got involved in money rituals and sacrificed his best friend. If you know more about this story, please tell us in the comment section. There is one of our subscribers who sent me that video as well as the picture of the dear brother who was murdered in a suspected money ritual sacrifice gone wrong. What kind of a world are we living in? You can't even trust your best friend. There is a message that I want to share with you, wanting to thank one of our admin who helped us with this Zulu translation. And it reads like this. How are you, Brother Nashim? Please post for me as anonymous. I am a South African woman. I am 28 years old now, but this story happened when I was only 23. I'm still dreaming about that house to this very day. People might say that I am lying, but I have no reason to make up such things. I come from the Eastern Cape. That is our raw home. But my mom, she took me later on when I was being mistreated by my stepmom because my dad is from Eastern Cape, and then my mom, she is from KZN, and then I started to stay with my mom. I'm the firstborn, so the pressure was always on me. I grew up working part-time in people's houses. Sometimes I would clean your flats, I would wash clothes and babysitting. Honestly, I was someone who was not afraid of any kind of hard work. In all of those years, I think the mistreatment that I was being given by my stepmom, this made me to be resilient, not fear to work. I never saw anything strange working in different homes. People used to talk about stories of ghosts, rituals, but I just thought that people were trying to scam each other. After high school, I got into the University of Johannesburg. Getting there was a miracle, but because the money was never there, my stepmom had made it clear that she does not support me going to university. And it was because she thought that maybe her children will never be able to go to university. She was like, you wait for my children to go to university, then after that you can go to university. My mother will just cry, saying, my child, what are we going to do? Because definitely there was no money for fees. Luckily, my auntie who lived in Johannesburg helped me. I would even stay with her sometimes in Soweto. The problem was that varsity life was expensive. Books, transport, food, everything was just a struggle for me and my mom. So I kept doing part-time maid jobs over the weekends. Then one day, my auntie, she called me. She was overexcited. She told me that there is a Congolese family going to Europe for a holiday. They are looking for someone to stay at the house whilst they are away. Brother Nashim, I thought God had answered my prayers. The house itself, it was huge. Near the Bedford View side, it had a big gate, swimming pool. Everything was so expensive. The family, they were insanely wealthy. One thing I noticed was that there were rooms I was not allowed to enter, especially the master bedroom and one room which was downstairs. The madam had told me, please respect privacy. Honestly, I didn't care about entering those rooms because I was so happy. The best part was that they gave me permission to bring my friends over sometimes because they said that the house is so big. How many friends do you have? And I said, I have two friends. And then they were like, you can bring one friend at a time if you are feeling lonely, because I was going to be staying there. I was supposed to stay there for 6 months. And they said that I could use the Amarok. They had a Bakim, a Volkswagen Amarok that was also parked amongst the many cars. It was in the garage to go to school. Brother Nanshin, at 23, when a person comes from poverty, suddenly you are driving a car You feel like you have entered paradise. The family left for Europe after they had seen me settling in into their home after 2 days. Everything was perfect. I would even make videos showing my friends the mansion, the swimming pool, kitchen, huge TVs. My boyfriend started coming over. My friends were like, yo, you have made it. One Friday, I decided to throw a small party, just close friends, maybe 10 people, music, drinks, a braai. The problem was that those that I had invited, there were strictly 10. It was five of my best friends as well as their boyfriends. That was all. I just wanted to have a nice braai with my friends so that they can see the other kind of a lifestyle so that we can be inspired to study even more and we can become rich forever. So, when you tell someone a secret, that person will tell another person a secret. That is exactly what happened. These people that I invited, they sent invites to friends of friends without my approval. Brother Nashim, by nightfall, the house was packed with people around about 14. We were indoors. We were drinking in the pool. Some were making love upstairs. I was panicking because I knew that I had been told not to enter into other rooms. But can a drunk person listen to you? Ha, never. A drunk person is never going to listen to you. Besides, I had my crush that was there. It was the first day that we slept with each other. So I was also over the moon. I was just enjoying. And I said, let me just relax. These people, they are far, man. They are not going to know and they are not going to see anything. So as we were just enjoying, people, they entered into any room. I tried to run around, don't go into this house. Nobody cared. Amongst these people, there was one girl. Her name was called Zaniele. This girl, she was said to be undergoing ugu some training to become a traditional healer. And many people, they just looked at her weird because she was always boring, talking about ancestors 24/7. That night, she got so drunk. Then things started to change around midnight. We were just enjoying. Zanele then started to shout. And when she was shouting, we turned off the music because it was as if she was having an epileptic seizures. So the other guys, who was like the DJ, he switched off those colorful club lights that he had connected, saying that he has seen it before in the club, people having seizures. So she was sitting on the floor shaking, and then she started to speak in a different voice, like the one that Sangoma speak with when they are possessed by the ancestors. She started to shout as she was pointing. She was just pointing everywhere. And then she was manifesting and saying, "Ngibona abantu abashonile." And everyone started laughing because she was like, "I'm seeing dead people." And we were laughing. We were like, Zanele is drunk. But she kept on crying. And what made us not to believe him, she started to pee on herself and she started to take off her clothes, saying that it's hot, it's hot. And we said, she is drunk, this one. No ancestor will do that to you. One guy even made a video. We forced him to delete that embarrassing video. One thing that I never forgot was that Zanele started pointing upstairs, saying that there is someone up there. Brother, the room that she was pointing at, it was the master bedroom that I had been forbidden from entering. So when we started to play music, enjoying, it seemed as if there was a weird vibe. People were still drunk, but everyone was just calm, as if like we had all seen the dead person that Zanele was claiming to have seen. The party started dying down slowly after that. Others left. The vibe had gone bad. Zanele was blamed by everyone. She was taken by her friends while she was still crying. Before she left, she said, "Do not sleep in this house alone. This house is haunted." I just laughed it off, even though inside I got a bit scared. I was grateful that my boyfriend, he stayed with me throughout the night. Even though we stayed behind, but still we could not enjoy the way that I wanted to enjoy. After the party had ended, I cleaned up. My boyfriend Jason, he helped me to clean up early in the morning. And then that was when he brought up the idea, but this was several days after that. He said, why are we sleeping in the guest room when there is a master bedroom? Because inside there was another guy that had entered there, and he was like, Joe, guys, the bed that is in the master bedroom, do you know how much it is? It cost around 150,000 rands, an expensive bed. And honestly, we all wanted to sleep on that bed. So at that time, I did not want, but he was my crush, my boyfriend. I did not want to lose him. And I said, no, they told me that we should not go in there. Jason was like, they are in Europe, relax, because indoors, no cameras, outdoors, no cameras, nothing. That is where I guess my mistake began. The master bedroom itself, it was huge. White carpets, giant mirrors, the bed, it looked like something that belonged in a hotel where presidents normally sleep. Brother Nashin, a person from a poor background, it just felt like I had stepped inside a movie. We slept in there. Everything was normal initially. Then around maybe 2 a.m., I woke up and then I heard a sound above us, directly above us, like there was a person that was walking in the ceiling, and this person was walking violently. I thought that maybe it was rats, but then that was when the chandeliers started shaking. They were just doing some small movements. Jason woke up too, and he was like, did you feel that? The sound kept going like there was a person walking above us. And then that was when a door downstairs slammed shut. Brother Nashi, my body immediately went cold. Jason tried to be brave at first, cuddling me, telling me that it is okay, maybe it was just the wind, he said. But the house was completely locked up. A few minutes later, it was like we had some movements downstairs, like people talking. I had never been scared like that in my whole life. Suddenly, Jason got a sudden headache and he blamed the alcohol, and he was like, yo, this house, it feels wrong. Then he remembered that he had seen a sachet of grandpa headache powders in the pantry. He said, I'm going downstairs. Let us go together. I was afraid to remain in bed, afraid to go with him. I said, no, don't go. But he went anyway. Brother Nashi, I'll never forget that wait. It was maybe 1 minute, but it felt like hours and hours. Then suddenly I heard boom, 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 boom. I heard running footsteps. It was Jason. He came back, slammed the door shut, breathing heavy like someone who he had been running a marathon. His eyes, they were full of fear. I said, what happened? Brother Nashi, that man just said, there is someone downstairs. So I thought that we were getting robbed. I asked whom. He said, I don't know. But when I was grabbing the pills, I could hear someone walking behind me. I wanted to fetch a glass of water. I failed to do so. He ended up drinking water from the bathroom. Apparently, when he entered into the pantry, he said the lights suddenly dimmed. Then he started hearing footsteps behind him. He thought that maybe I was following him, but when he turned around, he said that there was nobody there. But the footsteps kept coming closer. That was when he ran. We did not sleep at all that night. We stayed sitting up on the bed with the lights turned on. Around 4 a.m., we heard the sound again. And then that was when Jason started praying. But I guess that he was praying out of fear, calling the name of Jesus. One thing I haven't forget is that from the mirror in the room, it felt I was seeing something, like there was someone that was walking past that mirror. The next room, we left that room the next morning, we left that room instantly. From that day on, things started to get worse. I never slept in the main house again. I started sleeping in the double garage. Jason refused to come back. He would even say that house, oh, it is scary, brother. Initially, I thought that maybe we just scared ourselves after the party, but things kept happening even during the daytime. Doors will open and close on their own. Even when all the windows are closed, there is no wind. You will hear people talking upstairs. One afternoon, whilst I was alone in the kitchen, I heard someone speaking French upstairs, like someone having a conversation. Brother, the family was in Europe, but there was nobody there. One thing that I started to notice was that the house seemed to have movement at all the times. Like you could just see movement all the times. The TV, you can switch it off and on, it will go back, switch itself back on. And I was scared at all the times, but I needed money. One day, I went to varsity and I fell asleep during a lecture because I had not slept. That was when another girl told me that I needed to pray because she was sensing that there was this bad energy about me. Then, when I was praying, there was a revelation. I just heard a voice that told me to go and look into this other room. It was a room that they used to keep their tools. They had told me that if I wanted other stuff like mops and other brooms that were still brand new, I will find them in the tool shed. So when I had that revelation, I was busy mopping the veranda, and then the mop, it broke. I then went into the tool shed to look for another mop. When I went inside, I saw a black blanket that was covering something by the corner. And when I lifted that black blanket, this type of a blanket, it was like those ones, the small thin ones that they sell in Pep. It was a black one. And when I opened it up, I saw that there was a coffin. It was a small coffin that was inside, and it was slightly open. And I saw that there was red soil that was in there. When I saw the soil, brother, I did not even grab the mop that I had gone to look for. I just went into the garage and I was thinking the whole afternoon. I was thinking about what was it that I was supposed to do. The money that they had given me for that month, it was nice. And they had said that after 6 months, they were going to make sure that they will find an attachment for me where I can be hired permanently, even talking about me going to do attachments in DRC because they had shares in this other big mine in DRC. So I was thinking about my future. When Jason, when I called Jason that evening, he was so scared for me. He was like, come back to Soweto. But I was like, no, let me just work. It's fine. There is no problem. The family, they arrived, brother. I don't know how they came back to South Africa. Maybe they came back with a private jet because they just returned on that same evening around 11 p.m. and they were mad as hell at me. They fired me and they were like, how can you pray in our house? Don't you know that cultures are not the same? Why did you enter into our bedroom? Why did you sleep with a man in our bedroom? And then they fired me. That very same evening, they complained to my auntie. She was mad at me and they did not give me the money that they had promised to give me. And they just returned me to Soweto. They just called their driver who drove with me back to Soweto. That is how I got fired. And I regret to this very day because I thought that I would go to DRC to work at this other mine. And I knew that I was going to make a lot of money because they said that we are going to make sure that you get your attachment and you're going to work in DRC. You can even work for the government there in DRC. And I'm so saddened by it because to this very day, I'm still struggling to get a proper job. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our by our admin who helped us with this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us talk about this. Have you ever seen a ghost in your life? If so, you can come to our inbox and then you can share with us your own side of the story.